We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Friday, February 21st here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and thank you for tuning in to News Generation. Joining us this Friday is Brooke Fred.
Hello, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and Yoo Bin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Friday is when we wrap up the week with topics that resonate with young people around the world. I want to ask our viewers, have you ever heard of the term dupe? It is a relatively new term, a rebranding of what used to be called knockoffs. Now, what was once considered a little embarrassing is now shaping the way young people shop. So today, we're going to zoom into how and why dupes have become cool among the younger generation. So starting off, for those who are not familiar with the term, Wonbin, could you please tell us what exactly dupes are and how they are different from counterfeits?
Absolutely. So a dupe is a new term that's rising from the water. It's a short form word of duplication or duplicated, which are basically, they're self-explanatory, but they're basically cheap products that replicate the designs of a certain original products, and often them being luxury products. A very good example is the working bag from Walmart, which was actually a pretty big hot potato a couple of months ago. So everyone knows what a Birkin bag is. At least most people do. It's a very expensive luxury bag from the brand Hermes that can cost up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Walmart made a product called the walk-in bag for about $79, and it's about 70 to 80% identical from the Birkin bag. And I'm not sure about the quality, but when it comes to the visuals, it was almost identical. And the difference between a dupe and a counterfeit is that counterfeit tries to replicate the original product 200% down to the logo. However, the rising dupes are only, at least they argue to be similar or be inspired by the original products, which really does put them into a gray zone when it comes to copyright issues.
And we will talk about those concerns later in today's episode. But millennials and Gen Z are often described as the biggest consumers of dupes. So Brooke, is this actually true?
Well, indeed, these cheaper alternatives to luxury consumer products are becoming increasingly popular among young shoppers in particular. According to a poll by Morning Consult, while nearly 1/3 of adults, or 31%, have intentionally purchased a dupe of a premium product at some point, Gen Z and millennials have higher participation rates, roughly 49% and 44% respectively. Now, this could have something to do with the role of social media in dupe culture. On social networks, the hashtags dupe and dupes account for 6 billion and 3.5 billion views respectively. And that's without counting their many variants, such as dupe makeup, or 85 million views, dupe perfume, 61 million views, or fashion dupes, 28 million views. Now, if you take a look at the screen, another report by U.S. market research company YPulse looked into how young consumers really feel about dupes. 69% said that dupes provide a luxury experience without having to spend a fortune, while 60% said that they would buy dupes even if they could afford the original product. And 51% said that they feel a rush from finding a good dupe. So in other words, being able to find a suitable dupe, one that looks just like a Birkin, it's kind of seen as a badge of honor and pride from these very budget-savvy consumers. It's kind of a way to show off how good they are at shopping, to find something that looks that good, but not as expensive.
Which is the reason why we're seeing posts on social media racking up billions of views, that is posts related to dupes, and also we are seeing more dupes such as the working bag that Wonbin mentioned. So before we go any further, we're going to get a first-hand perspective from an American millennial to understand just how big the dupe trend has become. Stay tuned.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
So to help us explore the dupe culture further, joining us today is Kaylee Noel, an American beauty influencer, and she is also our panelist, Brooke's big sister. Welcome back to the show, Kaylee.
Hi, how are you guys?
We are great. Hope you are doing great as well, Kaylee.
I am.
Great, great to hear that. So, Kaylee, we would first like to ask you, are you noticing a lot of your friends or peers or those in your industry buying dupes? And we also want to ask you, have you personally bought any?
Yeah, sorry if you heard any noise. My son is in the background playing with my dupe makeup right now, actually. But yes, I do notice, and it's been like that for years. Like, especially in this economy, people just cannot afford to buy really expensive makeup. And then at the same time, when you buy something that is more affordable, not only can you buy more of it, but you're getting like the same exact type of look with something that's like half the price. So for me, I'm a huge fan, and like half of my makeup, actually more than half, is probably dupes. And I have some to show you guys if you wanted to see. What he wants to see. Okay, so the first one that I have this is lip gloss. So I have a Maybelline one, and then this is the Urban Decay one, and it's virtually the same thing. I mean, slightly off in color, but the same look, the same feel. We also have another one. This is e.l.f., and this is like a glowy product that you put on before your foundation. And then I have the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. This is way, way, way more expensive in full-size version, and you get much more with this. And another common one is powders, face powders that you can set your face with, like your concealer. The Laura Mercier one everybody knows, but Maybelline has a really good one too. This is the Fit Me, and they also just recently came out with like a pink color as well, so you could try like a pink setting powder too. I'm a huge fan. I love dupes.
Yeah, I can attest to the fact that Kaylee, as my sister over the years, has definitely recommended me a bunch of dupes to save me some money and help me learn how to do makeup. So my second question for you, Kaylee, is a dupe of Hermes's iconic Birkin bag recently went viral online. What's the story behind the Birkin bag? Have you heard of it? Have you seen it when you've gone shopping? This is my first time hearing of it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it, like mostly on TikTok. I think it's like Walmart is now selling bags that look really similar to more high-end bags. And to be honest, I would buy them. I would buy the Walmart ones. Definitely. Like
Rome says he would too.
They look the same. And even for like fashion for my son, I love him in Nike clothes. And I buy stuff from Ross for him, and it's the same brand. It's just much cheaper because it was like overstocked or whatever it may be. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, I have to say. But there's certain things I think you have to buy more expensive, and that would be skincare, and then also like foundation. Sometimes you just really can't find a good cheap dupe for that, and to take care of your skin, I think you do need to spend a little more money.
Oh, I see. Well, Kaylee, you just kind of outlined like your standards on which to go for the authentic products and which are kind of available to go for the dupe products. Could you kind of tell me a little bit more about your personal take on dupe products?
Yeah, so really what I think it is just like a product that is a lot more affordable than something that you would spend tons of money on, but it gives you the same look. I think that's what a dupe really is. The same look, just much cheaper. So yeah, like I said, about like 75% of my makeup collection is dupes. And it's just because it's more affordable for me in this economy.
Kaylee, I think. All right, Kaylee. Well, I think Rome is very busy looking for you, but thank you so much for sharing your insights today. I always appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice Kaylee.
weekend.
Bye, Rome.
Isn't he adorable? So we're now going to expand our discussion and explore how dupe culture exists outside the United States. So can you share some examples from other parts of the world? Let's start with here, Korea.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a trend in Korea as well. And again, it's completely different from illegal counterfeits. So to begin with, the cosmetic market in Korea has been releasing a lot of dupe products that are much more affordable. So a lot of cosmetic shops, including Daiso, which is a Korean dollar store, has released cheap cosmetic products that uses luxury brand cosmetics as a reference at a much more affordable price. And furthermore, a number of affordable fashion brands such as H&M and Uniqlo has also released products that have similar design languages to some other luxury brand products. Yeah.
And I can really relate to that because I remember back when I was in college, I used to buy dupes of luxury brand cosmetics, and I found out that they're actually very, very similar. So I was, oh, this is why people buy dupes. So this is indeed becoming a bigger trend here in Korea. But what about in other countries or parts of the world, Brooke?
Yeah, so this trend is also prevalent in places like Europe and China. In fact, a report by London-based market research firm Mintel found that 64% of Gen Z consumers and 67% of millennial consumers use dupe products in order to save money. Additionally, it was revealed that 1/3 of cosmetics shoppers purchase dupe makeup products on social media, which our guest, my beauty guru older sister Kaylee, did elaborate on earlier. Now, meanwhile, in China, the new word pink tea, which means affordable alternative, so dupe, has been spreading rapidly amongst young consumers. The number of keyword searches related to pink tea on one of their most popular shopping platforms increased by 2,538%, or about 25 times compared to the same period in 2023. Now, it's easy to think that dupes only refer to things like fashion, makeup, or bags, but the concept of dupes has actually expanded to include home appliances, furniture, and even travel. So there's something called destination dupes. This has become another hot trend, and these offer a fantastic way to explore new places with a similar charm to their more expensive counterparts, but you get to avoid those tourist crowds and high costs. For example, Sapporo, Japan is considered a dupe for Zermatt, Switzerland, which is known as a premier ski destination. However, if you choose Japan instead, you can get a one-day ski pass in less than half the price. So with dupes for fashion, makeup, travel, whatever you want, with the dupe culture, people are trying to save money, but still experience those high quality memories and also high quality possessions.
And I think that you mentioned it really well, Brooke, but what do you think are some other reasons why young people are so drawn into dupe shopping?
Well, I think this rising popularity of dupes really comes down to a few factors, including economic considerations, increased accessibility, and shifting consumer values. So starting with economic reasons, we all know it's been quite tough in recent years with the pandemic and inflation. So in these circumstances, shoppers are still seeking that luxury look and functionality, but they don't want the high price tag. So that's where dupes come in. They provide an affordable way for a broader audience to experiment with their fashion that might otherwise be financially out of reach. So it makes fashion more accessible and more inclusive. You can try a new product without committing to that more expensive option. And additionally, it's become a lot more accessible to try out dupes because social platforms have made it so easy to discover and share information about these alternatives. And it creates a sense of community around who can find the best dupes.
Right, it's like a challenge.
It is. It's a challenge. It's a game. It's like a strategy. And this has become particularly popular among younger consumers because they take pride in their, savvy shopping skills and showing off their impressive savings. And I think this has all led to kind of a cultural shift.
Right.
Because it's not really about the logo anymore. We've talked about this now a couple of times, the difference between counterfeits and dupes, right? Counterfeits, they want to pass off as the real thing. They want to look like an exact replica. Whereas dupes, they just want to kind of give you the same feel without the price tag. And so consumers are really enjoying just building their dupe collections. And I think this reflects a growing emphasis on practicality and resourcefulness rather than this flexing of a brand, the brand prestige. I think that's the culture shift we're seeing. So those are some of the reasons why this dupe culture has become more popular.
Right, so first off, money seems to be the top answer because dupes are a available version of very pricey products. And also, secondly, we are seeing kind of like this shift that Brooke mentioned because in the past, buying dupes were kind of seen as something sly or something that you should hide, but now it's becoming more of a prideful way of shopping. So I want to ask you, Wonbin, do you also agree with these points?
Yeah, I completely agree agree with what Brooke said. I just want to add a few more things
Sure.
to her point. So to start with this shift in like the recognition, obviously the dupe products has become more accessible and more accepted socially through social media and various online platforms. It basically affected people to kind of change their way of thinking. So in the past, it's used to be thought as a shameful or an embarrassing thing. Like if you had a dupe or a counterfeit product, like you would try your best to hide it, that it's not an authentic product. However, in 2025, the tables have changed, the table has turned. So now people are considering consuming these dupe or maybe not counterfeits because they're illegal, but the dupe products as a more responsible and smart method of consumption. And to build a little bit on top of the economic side as well, inflation is also a very critical factor. And when inflation gets out of control, like it did in 2024, younger generations will focus more towards the micro luxuries. So micro luxury basically means that because investing in traditional assets such as real estate or stock has become very expensive and nearly impossible compared to the past, the younger generations, the only luxury that they have in reach are very small luxuries, such as buying dupes or small luxury fashion items that cost under $1,000 or going to a fine dining restaurant and spending a lot of money.
I see, but there's always another side to every story. So we're now going to talk about some potential downsides of dupes, for example, ethical or any legal concerns if there are.
Right. So dupes, they do offer accessibility and affordability. It's a nice alternative to high-end products. Those are all great things, right? But like with anything, it comes with some drawbacks, and among them include quality and durability. These are often compromised because they use cheaper materials than the original product, which leads to inferior performance and shorter lifespans. Now, looking at it ethically, some people say that this dupe culture undermines the original creators because as much as you can say they're inspired by these designs, the designs themselves are unique, and without proper credit or compensation, that can potentially stifle innovation within the industry. And legally, that distinction between inspiration and imitation, inspired by and copy, that can be kind of unclear, which will lead to some copyright issues. Brand devaluation can also occur because we've got dupes that are oversaturating the market, which reduces the sense of exclusivity and the perceived value of luxury items. And additionally, my sister actually mentioned this, but to maintain lower prices, dupes can cut corners on ingredient quality, and this can raise concerns about safety and efficacy, particularly in industries like beauty and skin care. You are putting that directly on your skin, so you want to make sure that the ingredients are the best they can be, and you really don't want to cut financial corners when it comes to those products. So in short, while these dupes, they do make luxury aesthetics more accessible to the public, I think they can cause concerns and come at the cost of quality, ethics, innovation, and even consumer safety at times.
Right. Then what could be some legal concerns?
Some legal factors definitely play a role. Like Brooke mentioned, copyright itself can become a problem, but even if copyright does not become a problem, other laws such as design protection laws can become a problem. And there's also the ethical factor as well. Like it can be very disrespectful and humiliating for the original designer. And if the values of authentic designs and pieces are diminished, the entire market of arts and design can go into like a really bad downhill spiral. And worst case scenario, copying other people's work or design can be justified as well, which is not the thing that we want. I think it's very important to respect the original creator's authentic design languages.
So a lot of mixed reactions when it comes to buying dupes, and we also asked the same question to our viewers for their opinions on the dupe culture. So we conducted a poll through our Arirang뉴스 YouTube channel between this week, which was between February 14th to 18th. Out of 143 votes, 73% answered that dupes are a budget-friendly alternative, while 27% that they are a threat to original brands. So majority of our viewers are for dupes. If we look at some comments, for Chun Jung-guk says, I love dupes. I always buy them as an alternative to the more expensive brands. Joseph IANAI, I think it's a threat to the original brands and designers. Our final comment, Ling TH, I hope dupes can make people appreciate the originals, while at the same time, the original products can also lower their prices, so people don't need to buy dupes. All right, thank you for giving your opinions to our viewers. Ending off, I want to ask our panelists very briefly, do you think that the dupe trend will continue? Do you
Another
think,
tongue twister.
Right. Do you think that this is a fad that's going to fade away, or do you think it is here to stay?
I think that it will continue because people have realized, wait, I can get one really expensive product or one that just looks just like it in 5 different colors, right? It's a lot more efficient to buy dupes, and it's also not seen as this negative thing anymore. The stigma around having a dupe has disappeared. So I think consumers are now taking more pride in finding these more affordable items. And for that reason, I think that dupe culture is poised to challenge traditional notions of luxury and exclusivity. And so I think there is a future where now value and accessibility, that's what's going to be prized in our society. And we might even see in the future luxury brands starting to adapt to this shift by changing their prices and making more affordable lines, because how else are they supposed to compete with this trend of dupes? So overall, I think that unless we see some huge shift back towards, brand flexing being the norm, I think dupes are here to stay.
You think dupes are here to stay? Yeah. Do you also think the same way?
This is very interesting because I have a completely opposite opinion. Yes. Although dupes are becoming the hot trends nowadays, there's a saying that class lasts forever. And I think this is true. So once the trend kind of settles and once dupe products kind of cool down, I think people will again appreciate and value the authenticity of genuine luxury products. And honestly, there's no right and wrong, but the law is, when it comes to the world of fashion, it goes around and around. So I think it's only a matter of time before the luxury products, the authentic luxury products, takes back the throne again.
So different opinions, so we'll have to see what the future holds for the dupe shopping culture. And that's all for News Generation this Friday and this week, but we will be back next Monday at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Brooke Prince.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Yoon Bin.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be waiting for you here at the same time next week. We are
News Generation.